If you have a calling to create, you know how lovingly persistent it can be. A few years ago, I was dabbling more in my creative pursuits, painting regularly and experimenting with making videos. The artist way is something I'd heard about for many years, but it never felt like the right time to actually go through it. But I finally realized that I was tired of standing in my own way, blocking a friendship with my own creative energy. I feel like a more whole version of myself when I'm exploring my creativity, as I imagine it is for everyone. And I want to answer the call to alchemize my inner experiences into words and images. My initial experiences on this creative journey and musings around creativity, imperfect starts, and going inward are all to follow. With starting, already my mind was filled with ideas on how to get through this book correctly and in the recommended time. But a question I kept returning to was, does something need to be done 100% perfectly to get value out of it? You can uncover so many layers of yourself in sitting deeply with just one question, even if that takes 1 month. I have a young toddler right now, and life is beautifully busy. So I choose to prioritize being gentle with myself and letting go of rigid rules on how things need to be. I am going through this book much slower than the recommended pacing and instead focusing on deeply engaging with each task and prompt. I started the intro reading and writing morning pages, but not every single day. I will take long gaps between sections and exercises, and I let things soak. I let myself ponder, compare my day-to-day experiences to the ideas presented in the text. And ultimately, this book is a permission slip to question, pay attention, create, and run your own experiments in your life. Alexis Carrel said, "Man cannot remake himself without suffering, for he is both the marble and the sculptor." This is a process of excavation, unearthing, processing my life, and it's not separate from who I am. So before I get into some big ideas covered in the early section of the book, I wanted to quickly share how impactful starting has already been. The early weeks in this course have been about letting go of perfectionism for me, and choosing quantity over quality when it comes to output. So when I feel a flash of excitement or inspiration, I try to jump into action and put pen to paper as quickly as possible, and just focus on starting. Nowadays, I ask, what if? A lot. What if I just let myself play? What would I discover? And in doing so, I override that normal nagging in my head that says, wait, hold on. This needs to be more well thought out, more cohesive. I give myself permission to loosen up, to freely experiment and mash together anything that intrigues me. Some days it's sketching, other days it's writing or collage. I already feel so much freer, and my ideas can come down in different layers and shapes. The book proposes 2 important concepts in these early sections. First, that creativity is our natural state, and what we're really doing here is removing blocks in our creativity. Second, that creative energy is a sort of spiritual electricity. This book uses a variety of terminology to describe this creative energy, including the word God. You can replace the word God with universe, source, or good orderly flow, and the book itself says as much. But the words themselves aren't really the deeper point here. To really engage with this book, you have to be willing to confront what you believe about reality, this soup that we're all floating around in, and be open to considering where ideas and creativity itself come from. This doesn't mean you have to have all of the answers coming in, or that you simply believe what the book is proposing. In fact, the book repeatedly emphasizes that you should not simply believe something because it's stated. This is about being open-minded, which includes healthy questioning and running experiments in your own life and seeing what comes out of it. I think the more you're willing to rest in that mysterious place that there's more we don't know than we do, the more space you create to access deeper levels of reality. This is a concept that I personally believe is integral to living a life filled with growth, and an idea that repeatedly shows up everywhere. Isaac Newton said, "What we know is a drop, what we don't is the ocean." The poet Rumi said, "Sell your cleverness and buy bewilderment." I'm already a huge fan of long-form stream of consciousness journaling. I've been doing it for well over a decade at this point, and it's a cornerstone habit in my life. The one difference with morning pages is the frequency. It really pushes me to sit down with my journal more often. Daily writing really reveals to me how much stuff is just floating around my mind all of the time. Like I said in my last video on keeping a pocket journal, writing helps untangle the fragmented thoughts, half-formed reactions, and gut feelings that have all slowly piled up. Knowing I have a dedicated time to process my life is such an anchor of relief. Two of my favorite quotes in this section perfectly describe my experience with journaling over the years. First, it is impossible to write morning pages for any extended period of time without coming into contact with an unexpected inner power. And second, anyone who faithfully writes morning pages will be led to a connection with a source of wisdom within. The goal of the artist date is to spend quality time with your inner artist. Julia Cameron says this is about filling the well of our artistic reservoirs and to lean into joy, play, curiosity, and whimsy. For my first artist date, I spent some time alone at a cafe and then went on a photo walk around the neighborhood. So far, I'm just so excited that I finally dove in and started this journey. I've already been able to tap into more of my creative energy and return to old hobbies with fresh eyes. So even if it takes me 1 year to completely finish this course, the deeper win for me here has been the satisfaction of trusting my curiosity and following the thread of my passion.